I think Robert Tellis looks a little uncomfortable as he waits to hear his fate.
All rise for entering jury. Thank you, everyone. Please be seated.
Does the state stipulate to the presence of the panel as well as the two alternates?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Jaskowitz?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. Juror number 2, have you been selected to be the foreperson?
Yes.
Has the jury reached a verdict?
Yes, we have, Your Honor.
Will you please hand the verdict form to Officer Hobbs? Okay, the clerk will now read the verdict form out loud. The defendant and his attorneys will stand for the reading of the verdict.
District Court, Clark County, Nevada, State of Nevada, Plaintiff versus Robert Tellis, Defendant, case number C-368-935, Department number 12, verdict. We, the jury in the above entitled case, find the defendant, Robert Tellis, as follows. Murder with use of a deadly weapon, victim 60 years of age or older. Guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon, victim 60 years of age or older. Special verdict. The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, and premeditated. The jury unanimously finds the murder was committed by means of lying in wait. The jury unanimously finds the murder was committed by means of elder abuse. Guilty of first-degree murder with use of a deadly weapon, special verdict. The jury unanimously finds the murder willful, deliberate, premeditated. Do you want me to finish this?
I'm just having the attorneys approach for just a moment.
Thank you, Judge.
Because
Guilty of all of it, first-degree murder. Philip and Marie still with me. Philip, your response? I don't think this is unexpected based on the evidence.
No, not only did they find the first degree true, but they found the special circumstances of lying in wait, elder abuse, and that it was willful, deliberate, and premeditated. And I do believe that under Nevada law, it is a mandatory life sentence. I think for this jury, he came off as a moral menace, sort of like the decayed devil, the shriveled soul with manipulative morality on the stand. And now he has heard
Dated
his
this
jury
28th
speak.
day of
Let's
August
jump back in.
2024, signed by foreperson, juror number 2. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are these your verdicts as read? So say you one, so say you all.
okay, at this time, ladies and gentlemen, the clerk is going to ask you a question and just ask that you respond yes or no.
Juror number 1 is, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 2, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 3, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 4, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 5, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 6, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 7, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 8, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 9, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 10, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 11, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
Juror number 12, are these your verdicts as read?
Yes.
At this time, the clerk will record the verdict in the official record of the court. And at this time, ladies and gentlemen, as you know, pursuant to your verdict, we will now go into the penalty phase of the trial. We're going to take a break and allow the attorneys to get prepared for that penalty phase. So we will start again at 1:30. At this time, you'll all be able to be back together again. You're going to go with the court officer back to the jury deliberation room. And at 1:30, we will begin the penalty phase of this trial. Thank you very much, and you're excused.
Thank you. I'll run your next jury, please. Jurors, please go to the
All right, they're going to adjourn and then come back at 1:30 their time, which is 4:30 Eastern time, in order to begin the sentencing phase. Marie, your thoughts on the verdict? Again, as Philip pointed out, the special circumstances, lying in wait, the elder abuse, the deliberate, and first-degree murder. It was the underlying charge they found him guilty of.
DNA don't lie, as they say out in the streets. It is what it is. And that's what, sunk his ship. Philip was absolutely right about that. And the lying in wait, the brutality of the murder, the pre-planning, all of it. Guilty as he should be held. I feel sorry for him. He has children, he has family. I feel sorry for the victim. There are no winners here. It's just a horrible, tragic situation. But the DNA did him in, and he's guilty as charged.
I have to push back a little. I don't really feel too sorry for him. The jury has spoken. It's a conviction, first-degree murder. And the evidence, I think, clearly supports the verdict. And he chose this action. Philip, you're, I know, a phenomenal public defender. Marie's a phenomenal defense attorney. Do you feel sorry for someone when perhaps what happens is just in terms of our criminal justice system?
Oh, of course I do. I cannot tell you how many trials I've done where at every verdict I get butterflies in my stomach, even when I know my client's guilty. Honestly, we go to the mat, we put up the fight for our clients, even when we know there is reasonable doubt. So they might not be factually innocent, but as presented, they just did not prove it in my mind. But I say this all the time, Ashley, and I'm sure Marie can agree, that when you're in trial and you're really in the heat of the battle, we go through what's called trial denial. We latch onto these little kernels of doubt, these little kernels of hope that come in through the evidence, like this profile shot of somebody with hair behind the wheel, that's going to blow the defense case wide open and your client's going to go home a free person, But the truth be told, we get our hopes set too high and we lose sight of the impactful force of the evidence as presented. So now the issue is going to be whether or not he is going to get life without parole or the possibility of parole, maybe after 20 or 30 or even 50 years. And I think the judge can even deviate from the jury's recommendation based on the age and the elder status of the victim. So it remains to be seen.
Yeah, it does remain to be seen. Marie, did you notice Robert Tellis? He was just sitting, waiting, and once they announced the verdict, he was looking down but shaking his head. I feel like he may have absolutely believed his version of what he said happened and was shocked that he was just convicted.
You know what? He was relying on the system. And again, like Philip says, the system gives everyone a right to due process. And he was relying on that tiny sliver or grain of reasonable doubt to pop up for him. And there could have been a possibility that happened because that's just how our system is. The people have to prove it beyond the reasonable doubt. And that profile with the glasses and the high top really created a situation, because why else did it take so long when it was so obvious with the DNA and all the evidence they found in his house? Why? Because his lawyer did a great job, so he had some hope.
Yeah, I would agree. The lawyer did a great job, and that hope is reflected in almost 12 hours of deliberating by the jury. Also, the proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the state must prove, that is to protect all of our rights. We want that high standard. I understand we may have Matt Johnson live with us to give a report as soon as we take a break. So stay with us and we'll be right back.
Court TV fans, you demanded it.
Here we go, do it.
So now you're getting more true crime at nighttime.
Oh my God, oh my God.
48 hours on Court TV. Tonight, 7/6 Central on Court TV.
Tonight on Closing Arguments, new details in the murder of Madeline Soto. We'll unpack the newly revealed cause of death and what it could mean in the case against her accused killer.
Closing Arguments tonight at 8/7 Central on Court TV.
All right, tell us, Robert Tellis, guilty first-degree murder and the special circumstances. Joining us live now from Las Vegas, our own Court TV crime and justice correspondent Matt Johnson, who has been covering this case for us there live in Las Vegas. Matt, tell us, you were there for the verdict. What was it like inside that courtroom?
You could hear a pin drop, Judge Ashley, in that courtroom as we were waiting for this jury to make their way into court and then deliver this verdict. At times, you could see a few of the jury members, a few women in the first row looking over at the family of victim Jeff Gehrman. The family were clutching each other's hands and they were bracing for whatever that verdict was going to be. And then when it came down, read as guilty on all charges, including those enhancements and including abuse of an elderly person and also with a weapon and lying in wait, they broke down in tears. There were also members, former employees of Tellis, who were wearing red in the back row. They were breaking down and crying behind me. As for Tellis, I was just a few feet away from him. He did not show any emotions, neither did his attorneys, as that verdict came down, and obviously not the way that he had hoped.
Yeah, not the way he had hoped. Now, I understand, Matt, you also did have an opportunity to speak with some of the victims' friends. Tell us more about that, please.
Well, this family, Jeff Gehrman's family, have been waiting for justice for more than 2 years, and they have not done any media interviews. They've asked for space as they were preparing for this long trial, more than 2 weeks, more than 300 pieces of evidence and 8 days of testimony. And there were other people that wanted to be here in support of them. And again, they are the ladies in red that you may see in the gallery. And they wore buttons of the victim. They say that he was really fighting for them, sharing their story because they believe that they were working in a hostile work environment, and he was uncovering that with a local newspaper, which is the reason prosecutors say led to the murder of this victim, and that was the motivation for Robert Tellis. Well, we spoke with them outside of court. Here's what they shared with us.
Red just symbolizes for us, it's a unifying color that we come in. It's how we remember Jeff, and it's how we're showing him that we're not going to cower. He did his best to push us down as individuals and collectively, and after what he did to the one person that was trying to get our story out, we're just letting him know that we're not going to cower.
They were giving this victim a voice during this lengthy process that was very difficult at times for the family and for, quite frankly, them, anyone that knew this victim that was actually a beloved member of the media here in the Las Vegas Valley.
All right, thank you so much to you, Matt Johnson, and an important reminder always at the heart of these cases, in this case, the victim, Jeff Gehrman.